Okay.
Hey, Steve, you're it.
All righty. Before we get started, please be advised that the Committee of Adjustment hearings are recorded. A copy of this recording will be posted on the city's website and YouTube channel. Those in attendance may be included in this footage. By attending this meeting, you agree to be part of this recording. Okay. Before we get going, does anyone have any items they would like to discuss regarding the procedural orders?
I'll move them.
Seeing none. All right, Cheryl will move. Miriam will second. All in favor? That motion passes 5-0. Okay, on to the first item. Okay, first item on the agenda is submission number A26047. Notice of public hearing under section 45(1) of the Planning Act, also 1990. The address is 430 Grand Ave or Grand View Ave. The applicant is Nathan and Laura Tervit. The purpose is to permit an addition. Variance requested are one, to permit a front yard depth of 3.9 meters, whereas 5 meters is the minimum required, and two, to permit a lot coverage of 39.6%, whereas 35% is the maximum permitted. Okay. Is the owner or agent here? See the owner. All right.
Yep, I'm here as well. I'm the agent.
All right, Jed. Okay. All right. Does anyone require a presentation on this? We don't have any members of the public here for this. We did get some correspondence, though.
Yeah.
All right. Nobody needs a presentation. All
Well, I
right.
think it's
What was that? Oh,
simple. It's,
committee.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Committee room's got their hand up. Is there
Through
anything?
the chair, there is a member of the public for this item in the committee room.
Is there?
Oh,
Okay. Well, then I'll request a presentation on it then. Just to
good.
make sure everybody's up to speed. This is Chloe, I think.
Yes, correct.
Wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. Through the chair, the following application is minor variance for 430 Grandview Avenue, where the applicant is requesting variances to permit an addition to the existing dwelling. The variances requested are one, to permit a front yard depth of 3.9 meters. The subject lands are located within an established neighborhood characterized by dwellings with generally consistent front yard setbacks, creating a cohesive streetscape and established street wall. The proposed front addition, which would reduce the front yard depth to 3.9 meters, is not consistent with the prevailing pattern and would disrupt the established neighborhood of the streetscape. And as such, planning and development staff are recommending the refusal of the variance. Variance 2 is to permit a lot coverage of 39.6%. The subject property is already developed with the existing dwelling, accessory structure, and swimming pool. The proposed addition would increase the lot coverage to 39.6%, resulting in a level of development that is considered excessive for the size of the lot. The combined built form would significantly reduce the amount of available open space and opportunities for landscaping, contributing to an overdeveloped site that is consistent with the established pattern of development in the surrounding neighborhood. Furthermore, while the requested increase may appear numerically minor, the increased lot coverage is the result of a front yard addition, which, as noted above, is inconsistent with the established character of the streetscape. The proposed development, therefore, has the potential to set an undesirable precedent for similar future proposals. As such, planning and development staff are recommending the refusal of the variances, as the variances do not maintain the general intent and purpose of the London Plan. The zoning bylaw are not minor in nature and are not desirable for the appropriate use and development of the lands. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you. Okay. To the owner or agent, I assume you've had a chance to read the report from the city. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, so I'm Jed. I'm the agent on this project and the building designer. Um, just want to provide some design context behind the proposed additions and why we chose to expand the dwelling at grade. Um, when we started the design process, we reviewed the practicalities of the options available to provide the homeowners with the additional living space that they require. One option would have been to construct a second story or even a third story addition, because we're allowed a max of 10.5 meters high. From a zoning perspective, building vertically could reduce the lot coverage concerns and would actually eliminate all of our variances being requested today. However, in my professional opinion, as a building designer, there would be less compatible designs for this particular property and this neighborhood. It's as an established community characterized by bungalows, low profile residential dwellings. Properties also, the subject property is also situated on a walkout basement lot. Adding a full second story would actually be 12 feet taller than right now they're 12 feet taller than the people behind them. So you're going to be towering over all the surrounding properties. In my opinion, it's going to make that house a lot more out of place with all the existing bungalow communities and single story additions that are being proposed in that area. It's going to create a greater privacy concern. Second story windows would introduce elevated views into neighboring yards, pools, the privacy of outdoor amenities. We're very conscious of these impacts when we were making these designs. I understand the planning staff's concerns regarding the neighborhood characteristics, privacy, and established streetscapes. However, I would respectfully suggest that proposed designs directly respond to those concerns. The zoning compliant alternatives and construction upwards may work numbers, but in practical terms, it would actually create greater mass overlooking privacy impacts and of the surrounding properties. With respects to the lot coverage, the proposed coverage is 39.6%. However, the property will continue to maintain approximately 52.8% landscaped area, which exceeds the 40% minimum requirement. I respectfully disagree with the characterization of this property as an overdeveloped site when more than half the property will still be remaining as a landscaped area. They also note that the planning report identifies concerns regarding privacy and enjoyment of the neighboring properties. These are those exact considerations that we took into the account, and not to build vertically. A taller dwelling on this walkout lot would create a significant greater overlook and privacy impacts than a low profile design before the committee today. The front addition has also been designed as a cohesive renovation to the existing dwelling rather than isolated projects towards the street. The intent of the design is to maintain the scale and low profile residential characteristics of the surrounding community. In my opinion, the proposed variances allow for more appropriate and neighbor conscious forms of development rather than a vertical alternative available to the homeowners. We have initially chosen this design to minimize height, overlook, privacy impacts while maintaining the characteristics of this established bungalow community. For those reasons, I respectfully ask the committee to consider approving our requested variances. Thanks.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, we do have a member of the public here for this, so can I get a motion to open the public portion? Cheryl? Daniela, all in favor? I'm going to assume our other committee members are in favor of that.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there we go. Perfect. Okay. All right, Sandra, who do we have? They are in committee room, I believe.
Through the chair, we should have Diana.
Okay.
She's online. Diana, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, she's online. Great.
There we go. Okay. All right. And so I can just go ahead and speak?
Yeah, absolutely. Now's your time.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to read something. I'm a little nervous. My name is Susan Doherty. I'm the owner of the property immediately adjacent to the proposed development at 430 Grandview Ave. I appreciate the opportunity to speak here today. My concerns are about whether the proposal satisfies, the planning principles of the committee is required to consider upon under the Planning Act. The proposed front yard setback of 3.9 meters represents a significant reduction from the required 5.0 meters. This is not a minor adjustment. It would move the front wall noticeably closer to the street than what is the established throughout the section of Grandview Ave. And I just have some very basic, is it okay to show them? Or too late?
You can try, but yeah,
Okay. All right, so I just have some pictures of Grandview Ave that just shows it's a very nice street with all the homes have the same setback. It's, if you look east or west, either way, it's all the same, just clear homes, nothing going out from the house. This is the one that will be that is my master bedroom window. This is a pole that the 430 Grandview has put in place. They can confirm it. It's not anything I've done. That will block my front window with the extension. So when I look to the left, I won't be able to see anything except for the building that they are proposing. So it's a change to the streetscape and a change to the privacy in my home. The proposal also seeks increased lot coverage, resulting in a much larger building footprint than what the zoning bylaw permits. When considered together with the reduced front setback, the proposed represents a substantial departure from the zoning standards that are intended to protect the character of the neighborhood. As the owner of the adjacent property, I would experience the impacts directly. The addition would become a much more dominant presence when viewed from my property. I respectfully submit that approving the application would not maintain the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaws, which establishes consistent setbacks and building limits to preserve neighborhood character. It would also fail to maintain the intent of the official plan, which encourages development that is compatible with and respectful of existing streetscapes. For these reasons, I respectfully request the committee refuse the requested variance. They are both minor in variance, but when put together, they are not minor. Thank you. Turn that off now.
Yeah, great. Thank you. All right, Sandra, we don't have anyone else registered for this, do we?
You have a man, Jed Jefferson.
Through the chair, I am B. Massage. Will you please identify yourself and what application you're here for?
Yes, my name's Blair. I'm with sewer. I'm with the city of London sewers. I'll be here for questions for the very last one, I think.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, so we don't have anyone else.
There's a guy with a hand up.
Yeah, that was Jed.
Notice-
That's Jed. He's the agent.
Yeah, I just
Oh.
have something to add. There was
No, hold on a sec. We've got to close the public portion first, and then
Yeah.
we'll get your reprise. All right, Cheryl, you want to?
Yeah,
Cheryl will move to close the public portion. Miriam will second. All in favor? That motion passes 5-0. Okay, all right, Jed. Now is your chance to respond to anything.
Yeah, my client sent in information and photos, like a document in to Sandra the other day. Has that been passed around and reviewed by the committee and or the people in the committee of adjustments, or no?
We got everything that was included in the package. If it was sent in that last few days, we may not have gotten it.
Okay, yeah, Sandra said that she's got it, appreciates the comments, and it's going to be in consideration for the community of adjustments. So just wondering if that's been passed around. If not, we'd like to present that as well.
All right, what did you exactly send?
Through the chair, it was sent in the package as far as I'm aware of.
Okay, all right,
Thank
great.
you.
Okay, so that means it's been reviewed then?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. All right. There's nothing else. We can go directly to committee. We'll start in committee room. Jeff, you're first up.
No, I'm now. Thank you, Chair. So I I've been going back and forth on this, but I think I've got everything resolved in my mind, so no comments right now.
Okay. Miriam, any questions?
I have a question for the applicant. If we do actually refuse this application, will you be building 2 levels? And I guess there's a second part to this question, but let's go with that one first.
Yes, that is the intent. We like the square footage. We would like to stay in the community. We've established roots here. Again, we considered everything in order to get the square footage and respect the bungalows on either side and the fact that everyone has pools. So that's why we approached this design. And as you can see in the package, if everyone had an opportunity to review it, we further implemented helical piles instead of a traditional foundation, which minimizes disruption during construction, as well as maintains permeable area for stormwater.
My second question is to staff. If this does have to go through, go to 2 levels, what are does it have to go through another committee of adjustment, or is this it just gets done and no problem?
Thank you. So through the chair, the zoning bylaw and the current zoning permits 10.5 meters, which equates to roughly 3 stories. And our London plan permits maximum of 3 stories. So they likely wouldn't need a variance in that case.
Right. Question to follow up on that, Chloe. With this being the lot it is with the grade it has with a walkout basement, where does that 10 meters come from? Was it? Seeing as there's basically two different levels from this lot.
Through the chair, we're of the understanding that it's from the lowest grade, so that would be from the walkout basement. Yeah.
From the walkout basement. Okay, so they'd be a crowded 3 stories. Okay, all right.
That's actually incorrect. It's the average grade between the 2, so it's going to be halfway through the walkout to the upper.
Jed, you're
Yeah.
done. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the committee that's talking now. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Okay, Miriam, anything else?
I think that is where I'm going to leave things. Thank you.
Okay, great. Daniela, any questions?
Yes, I've been torn about this. Like, I'm pleased that we've got renderings to look at, and it looks like a really attractive house from the street. But when I look at the overhead map, all the houses on Grandview are lined up, and their front lawns aren't as large as, say, on Griffith or Reynolds nearby, where there might be a little bit of variation on that. So I'm really torn about that. Now, when I look again about the frontage, there's the addition goes past the garage, and the addition looks like it has another bump out. And I'm wondering, and that bump out, that additional one, it's about 1 meter. Am I correct? I guess my questions are directed towards the applicant. And with a little redesign, have you considered modifying that, how much the frontage comes out onto the lawn, onto the front, to minimize that, or potentially even stay within the allowable?
We have reviewed that. Part of it was to establish a large enough bathroom. Future state, this home, we're trying to make it so that it's accessible for my mother in the future who is living with Parkinson's. So we considered everything and tried to minimize how much. Again, it's a stepped projection, and it's only part of that step projection that exceeds that setback. And unfortunately, that's where all the plumbing and the bathroom will be, and we needed the real estate for that.
Further to your question, Daniela, the The step is there to add that architectural feature, more of the pronounced double gable on that, we'll call it the further east elevation. Without that, it's just one massive gable, which is kind of more intrusive to the neighborhood than not. So it was more of a, how do we make this tie in a little bit nicer to the neighborhood?
Mm-hmm. So I think it's been mentioned before that so the one floor decision is for aesthetics and for future proofing the house for family member. So adding another story really wouldn't future proof your house that much.
We would have to install several chair lifts.
Right. Okay, well, thank you very much. That's all I have.
Okay. Cheryl, any questions?
Yeah, when I was going to school, I never followed the lines. I always found that difficult. They give you a picture and you had to color everything so that you're going to be the same as everybody else. Unfortunately, I'm not the same as everybody else. And I think if you go through the city, you see a lot of new subdivisions, you see some old areas where the fronts are not ruler, measured, and look the same. I don't like sameness. And actually, when coming because part of the problem is making decisions for the future, because you don't want to put more stairs. Some of us are getting older faster than others. And the fact that you have a mother who has Parkinson's is really, that's a really difficulty. Sorry.
No, we understand. Is that everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am not going to be following the lines. I think this is a great idea. And I'm sorry, staff, but I'm not prepared to refuse it. And when the time comes, Mr. Chair, I'll move the approval.
All right. Okay. I don't think anybody would be surprised to find out that Cheryl doesn't color within the lines. I don't know. Yeah, I had similar questions to what Daniela had, whether the reduced bump out, we might be able to get closer, but I think regardless, we're still going to be needing a variance for this. I don't have a problem with the increase in lot coverage. I don't have a problem with the deck and the addition out back. The front was the one that sort of gave me issue. I was kind of on the fence about this whole thing, but during the whole process, I think I've become a little more okay with the idea. Given that the neighborhood, there are spots that are, especially on corners, where there's fences and so on and so forth, that are quite close to the sidewalk, which would be further out than this, for example. So I'm not sure the streetscape is exactly like Cheryl said, like a ruler.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't have a problem with this. It's just a case where it might be the lesser of two evils. Like, you don't have a lot of room out back because of other architecture out there to move out back. Another floor is, like the owner said, you're looking into people's pools because everybody has a backyard pool in the area. I think this is sort of the lesser of two evils when it comes to this sort of design. So I have less problem with it than I thought I did. So that said, is there anyone else?
I'll move it.
All right, Cheryl will move.
I'll second.
All right, Jeff will second. There's no further discussion. All in favor? Opposed? That motion passes 4-1. Okay. To the owner, this application is not, this permission is not final to the expiration of the statutory appeal period of 20 days from the date the decision has been signed, during which the applicant, the minister, or a specified person or public body may file with the Secretary or Treasurer an appeal against the decision of the Land Committee of Adjustment. With that, we consider the matter to be closed. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
It's very difficult for me. You know that, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
because Paul has Parkinson.
Okay. All right. Next item on the agenda is submission number A26048. Notice of public hearing under section 45(1) of the Planning Act, also 1990. The address is 1103 Adelaide Street North. The applicant is Softco Properties Limited. The purpose is to permit a restaurant. Variances requested are: 1, to permit uses that are otherwise required to be located within a shopping center to be established on lands that, excuse me, do not meet the definition of a shopping center. And 2, to permit a maximum gross floor area for restaurants of 604 meters squared, whereas 516.4 meters squared is the maximum permitted. Okay. All right, I got quite a long screen here. Is the applicant here? Or
Through the
agent?
chair, we have a member of the public here for this application.
Yeah.
Nick Dadbeck here is the agent from SBM.
All right. Hey, Nick, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Okay, since we do have a member of the public here for this, I will ask for a presentation. This is Matt.
Through the chair, thank you. The following application is a minor variance for 1103 Adelaide Street North, where the applicant is requesting to permit a restaurant. The requested variances are as follows: to permit uses that are otherwise required to be located within a shopping center to be established on lands that do not meet the definition of a shopping center, and to permit a maximum gross floor area for restaurants of 604 meters squared, whereas 516.4 meters squared is the maximum permitted. Section 23.1 of the zoning bylaws states that shopping centers are the permitted form of development. However, Section 2 of the zoning bylaw defines a shopping center as a group of commercial establishments containing at least 4 individual business establishments, planned, developed, owned, and managed as a unit, providing common open spaces, on-street parking areas, loading areas, driveways, and other shared facilities which may be held in single ownership or by participants in a condominium, corporation, or commercial cooperative, and where the predominant use is retail stores. In this instance, although restaurants are permitted use under the NSA 1 zone variation, and the subject lands contain a commercial building occupied by 4 business establishments, a variance is required because the predominant use is not a retail store. Therefore, the existing building does not meet the definition of a shopping center. As such, relief is required to permit a restaurant use to be established on lands that do not meet the definition of a shopping center. That said, over time, while the subject lands do not meet the definition of a shopping center, the lands have been naturally functioning in a similar manner to a shopping center by providing for the convenient commercial, or rather the convenience, shopping, and service needs of nearby residents. Within this context, surrounding properties and the broader area conditions, staff therefore are of the opinion that the requested variance is minor in nature. With respect to variance 2, Section 23.3 of the zoning bylaw sets out specific regulations for the NSA zone, including maximum gross floor area. However, in this instance, there is a special provision applied to the subject lands which establishes a max gross floor area of 416.4 meters squared for restaurants, whereas the applicant is requesting a maximum gross floor area of 605 meters squared. Planning and development staff are of the opinion that the 188.6 meter square increase in gross floor area is numerically minor in nature when considering the context of the existing building on the subject lands. While the building was originally constructed with retail stores in mind, as noted above, restaurants are now the predominant use, and no physical expansion of the unit and/or building is proposed as part of the application. Furthermore, the unit which is subject to this variance is smaller when compared to the rest of the units in the plaza, which are mainly restaurant uses. The requested increase in gross floor area therefore is not anticipated to have any negative impacts on abutting properties, as the increase relates to restaurant uses only, with no ground floor or rooftop patios proposed. As such, staff recommend the approval of both variances. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
I'll move opening for the public.
Great. All right, sure. We'll move in the open of the public portion. Can I get a second? Daniela, all in favor? Dan, I'll assume our other 2 committee members are good for that. All right, wonderful. Okay, Sandra, who do we have?
Through the chair, we have Diana.
All right. All right. And Diana, you can unmute yourself now. Button to the lower left of the screen.
Diana, lower left. Look at the corner, you'll see a microphone. Just put your cursor on it.
All right.
Hey. Going once.
Sometimes we have difficulties with modern technology. It's not always cooperative.
Through the chair, I believe she's
There it is.
unmuted.
Oh, there she is. Hi, Diana. How are you? Oh, she's unmuted, but Diana, if you're there and you can hear us and maybe just we can't hear you, could you maybe put something in the chat? Just to let us know.
Yes.
Oh, there you are.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. I do not have any questions at the moment. Thank you.
Okay, great. Wonderful. All right, Danielle or Sandra, I believe that's everybody.
Through the chair, that is correct.
Okay, great. All right.
Close.
Cheryl will motion to close the public portion. Miriam will second. All in favor? That motion passes 5-0. Okay. All right, Nick. I assume we've had a chance to read the report from the city. Is there anything you'd like to add?
At this time, no, the report and the presentation would suffice. Thanks.
All right, great. All right, to committee. Miriam.
No questions.
All right, Daniela.
No questions.
Cheryl.
It's a plaza.
Yeah. Jeff.
Thank you. One question to staff, and I think it might just be a typo or maybe not. The variance 2 it says 4.16, and the zoning referral says 4.16, and then it says 5.16 in the referral, unless I'm reading it wrong. Sorry, 416.4, and then it says 516.4 in the zoning referral. So just two different numbers.
Yeah.
Through the chair, that may have been a typo, but they did have a previous variance to permit the current gross floor area.
Okay, at 516.4.
That's correct.
Okay, great. Okay.
Perfect. I'm good. Thanks.
All right. Yeah, no, I don't really have any questions either. Like Cheryl said, it's a plaza and there's like a Tim Hortons, a shawarma place and a pizza place all within the same plaza. I think this is just, I don't think we're doing anything crazy here by allowing a restaurant. So with that said, can I get some sort of direction? Daniela?
This application.
All right, Daniela will move the application. Can I get a seconder? Miriam, all in favor? That motion passes 5-0. Okay, to the applicant, this permission is not final to the expiration of the statutory appeal period of 20 days from the date the decision has been signed, during which the applicant, the minister, or a specified person or public body may file with the Secretary Treasurer an appeal against the decision of the London Committee of Adjustment. For that, consider the matter to close. Thank
I
you for your time.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, next item on the agenda is submission number A26049, notice of public hearing under section 45(1) of the Planning Act, RSO 1990. The address is 24 Quail Ridge Crescent. The applicant is Mike Dore. The purpose is to permit an accessory structure. And variance requested are 1, to permit an accessory building coverage of 14%, whereas 10% is the maximum permitted. Okay. Is the owner here, Mike? So many names on my screen this week. I don't see him. Sandra, is he in the room?
Through the chair, I did not receive a reply back from the owners, and
Okay.
I don't believe that any of them are online.
Okay. All right. And there's nobody in committee room either. Is that correct? I see a head shaking. No. Okay. All right. Well, committee, do we want to continue along with this? It's a fairly simple application.
Is it already built?
Um,
Is this
I
asking
don't
for
know.
forgiveness?
This is Matt's as well, I believe. Matt, is this structure already built? Do we know?
Through the chair, yes, the structure is already built.
Okay.
So my question then is, how can we deal with the conditions? You just want there's conditions with this, right?
Mhm. So the extension is just the lean-to shed portion of this is putting it over the limit. Is that correct?
Through the chair, I believe the only conditions on this file are engineering matters. They're
Yeah.
essentially there in case the developer or development chooses to reinstall its eaves troughs. So we just want to make sure that they are placed in a orientation which puts
Okay.
those flows towards the green space.
All right.
Okay, that's
Well, to
perfect.
get the
Thank you.
permit, they'll have to, to get the permit, they'll
Yep.
have to
Yep.
go through
No
all that
problem.
anyway. So,
Yeah, no problem.
all right. All right. Well, with that said, does anyone require a presentation on this? Seeing none. Okay. All right. We'll go to committee. Daniela, any questions?
Well, I kind of wanted to know why it's come up now. But it's just academic, I guess.
All right. To staff, was this a bylaw? Did somebody call bylaw on this, or was they were trying to do something else and this came up?
Through the chair, we do not know for sure how this, what made the applicant want to apply for a minor variance. It could have happened any number of ways.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Dan?
No, that's all. Thank you.
Okay. Cheryl, any questions?
No, thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Jeff.
No questions, thank you.
All right. Miriam?
No questions, thank you.
Yeah, I don't have anything either. It seems fairly simple, and the conditions for engineering, with downspouts and so on and so forth, they'll have to comply with that. So I think we're okay with that. There's no offsets or anything like that. It's just a lot coverage. So I think I'm okay with this. All right.
I move to approve.
All right. Jeff will move the motion of the application. You got a seconder?
I'll second.
All right. Miriam will second. There's no further discussion. All in favor? All right. I'd say the spiel, but there's nobody here to talk to. So I guess we just move on to the next one. Okay. All right. Next item on the agenda is submission number A at 26050. Notice of public hearing under section 45(1) of the Planning Act, also 1990. The address is 457 Warner Terrace. The applicant is Gurbas Sandhu. Purpose is to permit an accessory building / pool shed. Variances requested are 1, to permit a lot coverage of 40%, whereas 35% is the maximum permitted. Seems to be a theme this week. All right. Is the applicant or the agent here? Ken, how are you?
Yeah, that's me.
Wonderful. Okay. Before we get started, does anyone require a presentation?
No.
No.
Well,
It's a pool shed. Hey, you never know. All right. Okay. We don't have any members of the public here for this. So Ken, I assume you've had a chance to read the report from the city. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Not really. No. It's already built. We didn't do it for record. But we were brought in to help resolve this. So it is standing. It still needs to get a building permit.
Okay.
That's about it.
So you're fixing it.
fixing it.
Yeah.
Very good.
We're making sure you're complying. Oh, that's all.
That's right.
We love that.
That we do.
All right. We can go into committee. So Cheryl, you're first up.
No, sir.
No, you're good. Okay. Jeff?
No question. Thank you.
All right. Miriam?
No questions.
All right. Daniela?
No questions, thank you.
No, this seems about as simple as possible. So we appreciate you building it far enough away from the lot line that we don't have to deal with that sort of thing. So all right.
As I sit here looking at my pool shed, I think you got to have a pool shed, right? I'll move it.
All right. Cheryl will move. And a seconder.
Second.
All right. Jeff will second. All in favor? That motion passes 5-0. All right. To the applicant, this permission is not final until the expiration of the statutory appeal period of 20 days from the date the decision has been signed, during which the applicant, the minister, or a specified person or public body may file with the Secretary Treasurer an appeal against the decision of the Lund Committee of Adjustment. With that, consider the matter to be closed. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. And on to the final one. We do have a number of members of the public here scheduled for this, so.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So next item on the agenda is submission number A26051. Notice of public hearing under section 45(1) of the Planning Act, RSO 1990. The address is 3475 to 3505 Colonel Talbot Road. The applicant is 2219008 Ontario Limited. The purpose is to permit 2 apartment buildings. And the variances requested are 1, to permit a minimum front yard setback of 3.4 meters to the building. The apartment buildings, whereas 7 meters is the minimum front yard setback required. 2, to permit a maximum height of 25 meters for the apartment buildings, whereas 17.5 meters is the maximum height permitted. 3, to permit a maximum density of 92 units per hectare, whereas 83 units per hectare is the maximum density permitted. And 4, to permit a balcony encroachment of 1 meter, whereas 1.5 meters is required, with no projection closer than 3 meters to the lot line. Okay. Okay, is the applicant here again?
Yes, hi.
Hi, Jennifer, how are you?
Good, yourself?
Wonderful. Just enjoying the campfire outside.
Yes.
Right.
Aren't we all?
Okay. All right, we do have a number of members of the public here for this, so I will motion, get somebody to motion for the opening of the public portion. Miriam, can I get a seconder? Jeff? All right, all in favor? I don't see Cheryl, but that's.
No, hold on.
Oh.
I'm in favor.
She's in favor. Okay, that motion passes 5-0.
Sorry.
No problem. Okay. All right, Sandra, who do we have up first? I think we got like 5 or 6 people registered for this.
Through the chair, I have Jason.
Okay. Jason Felker.
Yeah.
Hi, Jason. How are you? You can unmute yourself now. Button to the lower left of the screen. Little microphone.
Hello.
Hi, Jason. Just before we get started, since we do have a number of people here to speak, we will limit you to 5 minutes. We won't cut you off or anything, but just be mindful of the time. And if you are going to repeat exactly what someone said in front of you, it's perfectly okay to just say that you agree with everything they said. We will take it as another opinion the same. So, all right, Jeff. Or sorry, Jason. Goodness.
Okay.
Hey,
sorry,
Jason,
I did write a letter too. I hope that was reviewed by the committee, so I don't need to reread that. Just ask as a nearby resident with a homeowner that enjoys their backyard with my family and my young children to consider refusing any further height increase to this building.
Okay.
Basically would just eliminate all privacy from the area. So I just ask the committee respectfully to consider no further height increases to this building. I believe they already got one variance previously, and
Okay.
just request that the zoning be upheld from any further height increase.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Is that everything?
Yes. Well, there's
Okay.
it's a detailed letter as well that I
Yeah.
previously
I just
sent.
presented. Great.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
All right. Wonderful. All right, Sandra, who's next?
Through the chair, I have Brad.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Thanks for the opportunity. Nice to meet
No
everybody. I did also send a detailed letter. You've all seen that and read that. I don't have to read it.
Nope, you're good.
Okay, awesome. So I just kind of summarize, just like the previous gentleman said. I would respectfully like for the refusal for further height on the building. There's four. I'd like to speak to each of the four items. Front yard setback, less than half of the required distance to the road is the request. Building height is 43% taller than what is currently allowed. Density is going to be 92 units, where the current allow is 83 units. That's 11% more units on the same land. Balcony encroachment currently allowed is the 1.5 max, 3.3 meters minimum, and they're asking for 1. So the balconies are now going to be closer to neighboring yards. I do live right directly behind the proposed site in a small little bungalow condominium subdivision, and all the houses in the surrounding area are single family homes or maximum three-story units. So this is not small individually. A 43% increase and 11% density increase. A true minor variance is typically a small fraction of the permitted number, not a building that's 7.5 meters taller than the currently legal on the land. They do stack on top of each other. All these minor variances will stack on top of each other. Each variance alone might sound arguable. Together, they describe the total building closer to the road, more units, balconies closer to the lot line, materially bigger, and a more intrusive project than the site is zoned for. The impact is direct and permanent. This is not an abstract planning debate. Obviously, it is a real height increase that will block morning and mid-morning sun into our existing backyards, and the balconies will look directly into our backyard. The legal test for is not just about percentages. Ontario's planning test for minor variance asks whether it is minor in degree, whether it maintains the general intent of the zoning bylaw, and whether it negatively affects the neighborhood's character. A project needing 4 separate variances just to reach its intended size on a street of detached single-family homes is a reasonable basis to say that it is not fit that test. In my letter, I also mentioned, you've all seen my letter, so I don't have to go over my letter, but that does affect our property value as well. Had I known that there was going to be an apartment building, we just purchased this place in 2021. We rented from the previous owner for 2 years, and we loved the place so much that we bought it. Had I known that there was an apartment building going to be stuck right up our backyard, I may affected our decision on the purchase price. Anyways, that's all I have. I do appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Sandra, who do we have next?
We have Helen.
All right. All right, Helena.
Hi.
How are
Can you hear
you?
me? Good. How are you?
Good.
Good. Thank you for letting me talk today. I really appreciate it. And I'd like to just further add to what everyone else said so far. I completely agree with the points that they made. I'm also an owner in the neighboring community with small children. And so privacy is a huge, huge issue. And by increasing the height, you're going to take away a lot of that privacy. A lot of the homeowners on Clayton Walk do have pools as well. So that's also another factor to consider. Yeah, not only that, but it's not a minor variance in nature, as everyone else stated. This is a huge difference to what they've applied for and should go through the proper channels if they want to take this on. So as a minor variance, I don't think that it should be approved. In terms of front yard setback, that's also going to impact the street. Like Colonel Talbot's already quite busy, and I know there's a lot in the works on expanding it and stuff like that. So if they're already closer to the road to begin with, I don't know how much setback they're going to have once the road becomes 2 lanes each way, which I know at some point it will. Right now it's just 1 lane, but there's so much density happening here and so much development that I don't see how that's not going to go into 2 lanes. And then the setback closer to the road is not just going to be a 50% change. It's going to be so much more than that because it's going to be way closer, if that makes sense. And that's going to affect landscaping, our like walkability, everything like that in the area too. Density increasing. I mean, that's a big one as well. It's, again, that's not so minor in nature with the other things that they're requesting too, because that means a lot more people and a lot of impact on the infrastructure in the area too. And they've, again, just redone Colonel Talbot. We don't want it to be under construction again because it's a nightmare every time it is. And that's, you know, going to have to be accounted for when they're increasing the density by that much too. And then the balcony encroachment would directly impact privacy, noise, and overlooking concerns. And as the gentleman before me said, he is right there. So that would be overlooking him specifically and all the houses in that area. I am not right there. However, that does impact all of our community as well. And yeah, I'm just trying to think if I have any other points to say. Basically, everything is not so minor in nature when it's together. The biggest thing for me too is again, the height. That's huge. And that's not even, this isn't the proper way to do that. And that's, yeah, it's very frustrating. So anyway, those are my points. Thank you so much again for letting me speak. And yeah.
Steve, you're muted.
I'm muted. Okay, there you go.
Through the chair, we have Jana.
Great. Hi, Jana. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. Thanks for this opportunity. I don't want to echo everything else that everyone has said, but I agree with what everyone is saying. I'm an owner on Clayton Walk, so this directly affects myself and my neighbors. This variance is massive. It's a massive structure that will be directly in my backyard, which we all have pools. So it affects privacy, landscape, and it's a huge mismatch in this community. These are all single dwelling houses, established. It's an established neighborhood, and now we're going to have these 2 enormous structures that initially this wasn't what it was going to be. Now directly in our backyards. We do have children, and there's many young children. So it affects everybody around us. And again, it's a huge mismatch in this neighborhood, and it's not what we were prepared for, nor was it what was presented to us years ago. So it is very frustrating, and I really hope that you consider not approving this variance for the height especially.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Sandra, I think we had one more.
Through the chair, I do believe that is everyone. If I'm missing anyone, please speak now. Oh,
Brad?
Apparently we have Brad. Sorry.
I just wanted to ask if this presentation is going to be made available to people that participated, and will we have any answers on the result of the application sent to our email?
yeah, if you've registered, you will be informed. I'll to staff, you want to give them the spiel on that?
Through the chair, once they're on that list and on the registration list, they will receive the notice of decision and the notice of final decision. The minutes can be viewed on the City of London website, and the other information will be there as well.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, I think that's everybody. So can I get a motion to close the public portion? Cheryl? Daniela, all in favor? That motion passes 5-0. Okay. Okay, all right. Jennifer? Is there
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm going to assume there's some things there that you would like to respond to.
Yes, and just to provide some clarity and context for everybody, I appreciate that there's a lot of interest in this project. So my name is Jennifer Gaudet. I'm an associate planner with MHBC. I'm here acting today on behalf of the registered owner and the applicants. And with me today are Ali and Carlos from York Development. So they're two of the squares on your screen here. I'd like to thank staff and members of the public for coming out and providing comments. We're in agreement with staff's recommendation to approve variances 1 and 4, but I'll focus my conversation today on variances 2 and 3, which relate to the height and density. For context, the site's part of a subdivision that's been in progress for about 10 years or so. And the site has existing permissions to construct 4 4-story apartments. Since that original approval and the variances that members of the public spoke to that we previously obtained, the design's been reconfigured, and that's just in response to market forces. I'm sure everyone's aware the last couple of years have severely affected the development industry as well as the real estate industry. So the updated concept that's been circulated and is the subject of the variances shows 2 6-story apartment buildings and a rooftop amenity space. This change provides an additional 98 apartment units within a comparable development footprint to the previous 4-story configurations, and it provides increased separation distance from the townhouses. The additional intensity is still concentrated towards Colonel Talbot and provides a transition in height and intensity from the proposed apartment buildings to the existing low-density residential neighborhoods. As committee has heard, we need an increase in height and density to facilitate this reconfiguration. Understand that planning staff and members of the public are particularly concerned about height, so I wanted to focus on that a little bit. As committee may be aware, 2 days ago at Planning and Environment Committee, they voted to consolidate the Southwest Area Plan into the London Plan, which my understanding, and staff, please correct me if I'm wrong, is that the heights permitted in the London Plan will prevail, which in this case is the 6 stories, not the 4 stories. So it would, assuming council implements the direction of the planning committee, permitted height along here would be 6 stories as of right. And I'm sure Committee of Adjustment is familiar with this, just for the public's information. In London, the zoning bylaw excludes mechanical penthouses and outdoor rooftop amenity space from height calculations. In this case, we have to get the variance because it's indoor amenity space. But if I could, am I allowed to share my screen just to show a rendering?
Sadly, no, but a rendering would have been wonderful.
Yeah, if I could, then I'll direct everybody to the very small version of the site plan, which you can see. If you look sort of at the L shapes of the buildings and you look sort of in the interior, you'll see like a little square within the rooftop. That's the portion that's 7 stories. So it's not the whole, it's not a whole additional story on top. It's just that little portion, and that's going to be the indoor amenity, which is why we need to go to the 7 stories. And that's consolidated with the mechanical penthouse. So if we just left it as outdoor amenity, we wouldn't even need this. The 7th story wouldn't be an issue. Right. And as I mentioned earlier, the increased density, we will have more units if we do this configuration, but it's within a similar floor print to the previous approved version. So given that context, I hope it provided some information for everybody. We do hear your concern with height. And we will, take it into consideration, see if there's anything that we can do. But we did want to provide context for everybody that the Southwest Area Plan is being consolidated. So our height is in line with what the London Plan permits. So thank you. I'm available to answer any questions. And sorry I couldn't share my rendering because I think it would be very helpful. And I apologize that it wasn't.
We did
submitted
get
in the first place.
elevations, and we do have the site plan, so we can.
Okay, yeah, it's just a
extrapolate
3D
from there.
plan, so it's a little easier to see that 7-story component. But yeah, thank you.
All right. Okay. With that said, we can move to committee. Cheryl, you're first up. I think. Yes.
Well, so you don't have to think. Yeah, this is one that is, I going back and forth. I can flip one way, I can flip the other. So first of all, we probably, if we oppose this, if we move 1 and 4, my bet is that it will be appealed to the tribunal in Toronto. And that's the suggestion of the staff. The other thing that I'd like to do is I'd like to be able to meet in the middle. So I actually feel like I'd like to defer this to staff to sit down with the applicant and see if there's a meeting of the minds. If not, then I would have to support staff's recommendation. I don't want to.
Okay.
I think I want more conversation. I think some way we'll be able to solve it.
All right, great. Okay, Jeff, any questions?
Thank you. I guess my first comment is to thank you to Jennifer for mentioning about the Southwest area and the London Plan. I also attended PEC, so I know that's coming forth. My question, therefore, is to staff. If this gets referred or delayed and council approves the amalgamation, is there a minor variance needed for the height?
Good question.
Through the chair. So yes, swap is currently being redacted, basically taken out and amalgamated with the London Plan. It hasn't yet gone to council yet, so it's not the policies we're working with. But we did still evaluate this based on the height that is in the London Plan, which would be 6 stories. A minor variance would still be required though, because while the height might be permitted in the London Plan, it's not permitted in their zoning. So they would still need a variance to permit that additional height. So, or as ZBA alternatively.
Thank you. That helps answer it. I don't know if the applicant knows this. It would be helpful for me. What is the exact measurement from the south facade of the apartment building to the lot line? I know on the site plan, we go from the apartment building and then we go through 2 rows of townhouses and a laneway, which looks double wide, sidewalk, screen space. So as I said, it would be helpful if I knew the measurement from the apartment building to the south lot line.
This is when I wish I had AutoCAD skills. I'm not sure if Ali or Carlos knows offhand, but it looks based on my sort of scaling that it's well in excess of 100 meters. Based off, if you look at that dimension to that blue line being 8.2, you kind of scale it from there.
Thank you. That's also what I expected. And then on the west side, from the west elevation of the apartment building to the lot line is a little bit less, but then we do have 126 feet of green space before we get to residential properties. So personally, I saw the sketch or the site plan of the 4 buildings. I personally like this concept a lot better of 2 6-story buildings with the townhouses. I think it's a good step down from the height of the apartment buildings to the townhouses, to the green space, to the residential homes. So I would like to support this, but we'll see how the other members feel.
Okay. Miriam, any questions?
No questions, but I think we need to do a bit more work on the, what is it? The Clayton Walk area. Is there something we can do to mitigate some of those shadows from the 3 stories going into people's backyards and whatnot? So again, this is something I think that needs to be worked out. And I'm going to be, again, going through whatever the committee is hoping to do. This might have to go to referral. So anyway, thanks.
Okay.
No questions, just comments.
Okay. Daniela, any questions?
No, many of my questions have been answered or discussed already, so I have nothing new. Thank you.
Okay. The only question I have is, like, this is obviously part of a larger sort of development that's going on here. The density calculation, that is for the apartment buildings only, right? That's not including the townhouses that are in behind or anything like that.
That's the whole block, but
Yeah.
Matt, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong.
That is correct.
Okay, so it is including the entire block of projects. So it is including the townhouses in behind and such. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was clear on that. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence with this whole thing. I have to sort of agree with the members of the public that spoke with the height. Has been increased once before and is about to be increased again. I do appreciate that the mechanical room on the top of the building is, calculated in that height. So it's not quite as bad as we think. It's probably, 22 meters or something like that, as opposed to 25. So yeah, there is a fair amount of distance between the buildings and any homes that are currently there. So it's, yeah, I'm a bit on the fence with this. So I'll just direct back to committee.
What?
Miriam?
Honestly, I think we're so confused with this one that I think it needs to go back. This is what I'm hearing. So maybe we go back, Chair.
Okay. All right. Is that a motion?
Hold on. I'm not confused.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah. Just so you know. I may be old, but I'm not confused. So what I don't want to do is, if we do this, it's going to be appealed in Toronto, which, makes it longer, makes different issues, and then Toronto makes decisions for us. So that's why I thought if we could defer it to see if there was common ground here, and if not, then they'd have to bring it back, and I would probably support it. But I do want to see if there's an opportunity to have another look.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Then I'll move it. I'll move deferral.
Deferral. Okay. Okay. So
Sorry, Jennifer.
Jennifer?
If I may, I just wanted
You can't vote. You can't vote.
I know that. I just wanted to say if deferral is the way you're going, if you could provide some direction. I know you, Cheryl, you're saying speak with staff, but I heard shadows might be a concern, like maybe a shadow study. If you could just give us some direction for the information that you're looking for that we could provide that could help you make a decision, that would be most helpful for us. And I don't want to speak for staff, but probably for them too. And then in the meantime, council can make their decision on the swap, which might also provide direction. And then rethink zoning is informed by swap.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
You're done.
and that's another case where
Sorry,
that
Jennifer.
might give them time to implement the new changes, and all this might change anyway. Okay, so to staff, it looks like we've got a motion going to go on the floor here for deferral. What sort of timeline are we looking at? I assume they want it back as soon as possible, but
It seems stupid to rush it if council's gonna be discussing it.
yeah.
Now, you're kind of damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, so
Mhm.
I think we have to do.
Through the chair, I would just note, in addition to the other information about swap, that I did get confirmation from the policy department that when they are adding it to the London plan, it could be appealed, that decision. So just noting that the timeline of that could be longer than we
Right.
anticipate. In terms of if you do decide to do a deferral, I would recommend no earlier than August 13th.
13th. Yep.
Okay.
Right. So Marion, you move deferral.
Yeah, I'll move deferral until
I'll
August
second it.
13th.
Okay,
I'll second.
Marion will move deferral. Cheryl will second. Okay, I think we have to move the date first so we can move deferral. No
Yeah, hold
sooner.
on. Hold on, vote first on this one.
Yeah,
We might not make it, so we might not need the date, okay?
this is true.
Right?
Okay. All right. We have a
All those
motion,
in
we have a
favor?
seconder. If there's no further discussion, all in favor of deferral? Looks like that motion passes 5-0.
Okay,
Okay, with the deferral, we have a suggestion for no earlier than
no
August.
earlier. Yeah, so there's another motion. Marion, you're gonna make no sooner than August 13th, okay?
Yeah.
That's
And-
correct.
Okay,
All right. All right, we have a motion to defer no earlier than August 13th.
correct.
All right, Jeff will second. There's no further discussion. All in favor? That motion passes 5-0. Okay. All right.
Brothers in London.
Okay, so I think Jennifer, you can take back what our concerns are, basically echo what the communities are, is sort of height. I don't think they're quite as worried about density and that sort of thing. More sort of height and privacy issues is what they're worried about.
Yeah,
And you
we
can discuss
can-
that with staff.
We can look at generating shadow studies, and then also maybe some angular planes just to show from the backyard sort of what the increase in height actually looks like.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Good, thank you.
All right. Well,
Thank
I think we are done.
Yes. Thank you to staff, thanks to committee. I'll move adjournment.
All right, Cheryl will move adjournment. Jeff will second. All in favor? That motion passes 5-0. We stand adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, good job. Even though you fell asleep and went quiet.
Well, damn mute button, when staff or public is speaking, sometimes I'll put it on mute and you just completely forget you muted yourself.
I know.
Okay, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Enjoy the weekend if you can with the smoky conditions. We'll see everybody next week.